David, do you know you have two squares?
Yeah, I am using my phone, so I was trying to see if I could hide one so we're not having to look at that second one. Give that a try. Hopefully it will work.
Well, it's now 3 p.m. Do we expect, I guess members of the public can just be watching on the live streaming? Is that what we expect?
Yes, and so Doug and team should actually be watching right now.
Okay, perfect. Well, with that, it's 3 o'clock. I'll call the Harris Ranch Community Infrastructure District number 1 regular meeting of May 12th, 2020 to order. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Clegg.
Here.
Thompson.
Here.
Woodings.
Here.
All present.
All right. Next on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the September 10th, 2019 meeting.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the minutes of the September 10th, 2019 meeting.
Madam, is it Mayor for these, by the way?
Chair.
Madam Chair, I was not on the committee at that time, so I guess I'll abstain from these first ones.
Okay, I will second that motion then. And any discussion? Hearing none, would all in favor say aye?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Well, the item number 3 on our agenda is 3.1 is the election of board chairperson and vice chairperson.
Yes, and Madam Chair, on an annual basis per Idaho code, we are to select a chair and vice chair. So that is why this is added for the very first meeting.
Yeah. So I would entertain a motion. I'd be happy to pass the chairmanship along or not. It's, I really, whatever. If someone wants it, you're welcome to take it. How's that?
From what I can tell, you're doing a great job already.
Is that a motion?
Madam Chair, I would move to nominate Elaine Clegg as the chair again this year.
All right. And do I have a second?
Oh, I'm sorry. There needs to be a second. Yes, I second that.
Okay. Any discussion? Well, I'll reluctantly accept. How's that?
Madam Chair, if you don't want to do it, I would be happy to do it too. Totally up to you.
Oh, I'll do it one more year. How's that? We'll let you have it next time. I guess with that, would the clerk please call the roll?
Clegg.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Woodings.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And I also need a motion for a vice chair.
Madam Chair, I would nominate Councilmember Thompson to be the vice chairperson of the CID board.
I'll second that.
All right. Happy to do it. Thank you.
All right. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Clegg.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Woodings.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Well, with that, we're on to agenda item 3.2, which is a presentation and approval of the audited financial statements.
All right. So, Madam Chair.
Over to David Hasegawa.
Yes. So I'll just open up briefly, and then I'll turn it over to Sabrina Peterson, who will be presenting the financials. So first, I wanted to thank you all for attending the very first meeting of the Harris Ranch Community Infrastructure District #1. And a special welcome to Board Member Thompson. We're excited to have you on board and excited to have your leadership and experience as part of the district board. As a way of introduction, my name is David Hasegawa, and I am the city's treasury manager. And together with Rob Lockwood from legal and Jim Party from Public Works, we lead the operations for the district. For anyone who's watching online, the Harris Ranch Community Infrastructure District was formed in 2010 to expedite the construction of public infrastructure within the community. It is a separate legal entity and is governed under Title 50, Chapter 31 of the Idaho State Code. And a few notable construction projects that the district has accomplished have been improvements to the Greenbelt and the fire station within the community. Today, we'll hear from Sabrina Peterson. She is the city's accounting manager, and together she and her team put together the fiscal 2019 financial statements. We'll also confirm the dates for the district's future budget meetings, and then the consent agenda items are going to be used, the consent agenda items are service agreements that will allow the district to pay for its staffing as it does not have its own staff. So if there are no questions, well, actually I'll stand for any questions real quickly.
Any questions for David? I guess not. I'm good.
All right, with that, I'll turn it over to Sabrina.
Welcome,
All right.
Sabrina.
Thank you. Thank you, David. So I am Sabrina and I am the accounting manager at the city of Boise. My team and I put together the financial statements for the Community Infrastructure District. The Community Infrastructure District is blended in with the city of Boise. However, as David mentioned, they are a separate entity, so they do have their own external audit and their own standalone financial statements. Eide Bailey was our external auditor for the infrastructure district during fiscal year 19. They provided a audit with a clean opinion. I wanted to note a couple of things on the financial statements very briefly. When you're reviewing the financial statements, you will see the first column is the modified accrual method of accounting, which is near cash. And then there is an adjustment column with the far right column being in full accrual accounting. Compared to the prior year, our financial statements were fairly similar. We did have a lot of relatively speaking, a large amount of cash at the end of year, but that was because there was a large accounts payable. We had received our debt revenue in, but had not paid out everything yet. And that was paid out in the next month of October. Also in our budget to actual comparison, you can see that the expenditures were substantially higher than predicted, and that is because we were able to take out more debt than we were anticipating. So additional money was paid as an expenditure out towards that infrastructure. I stand for any questions at this time.
Any questions for Sabrina? I think we're getting more used to the ins and outs of how the infrastructure district works. And so for me, this all made sense because of the past history. So none from me. Anyone else?
I don't at this time. It looked like a clean audit, and appreciate the explanation.
All right.
Fortunately, for this presentation, these financial statements are not extremely complicated. We get debt, we pay for the infrastructure, and then we pay the debt. and then we collect taxes and pay the debt. So it's pretty straightforward. I believe that someone from the board now has to move to approve them, and then we will be set.
So there is also a resolution number 6. So do we accept the financial statements and then approve the resolution? Is that the appropriate way to do this?
That would be a good way to do it.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to accept the financial statements and the audited financial statements as presented.
Madam Chair, I would make that motion as you have stated.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Clegg,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Woodings.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And then we have a resolution, HRCID 6/2020, that outlines the management of the audited financial statements and approves those. And I'd take a motion to approve that resolution.
Madam Chair, I would move that we approve the resolution as stated.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Clegg,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Woodings.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Thank you. Third on the agenda is upcoming budget dates. David, I think that's back to you.
Yes. So, Madam Chair, members of the board, the district traditionally holds its budget meetings on the same days that the city does. It helps to keep things simple. And so those days are June 23rd for the workshop, and then July 21st for the budget hearing. The public hearing is noticed both in the Idaho Statesman and then with flyers that are posted at all of the mailbox centers throughout the district. And so I'd just like to confirm that that will work for all of you. I'll work with Amanda to actually schedule the time.
And Amanda, remind me, that typically happens, I think, before the, we do it before we go into the workshop and hearing for the regular city council. Is that right?
Madam Chairman, we go before the work sessions, and then for the public hearing or the workshop, we sometimes go at lunch, sometimes go upon adjournment. It depends upon the schedule.
Okay, but we'll just work it into the day.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm fine with that. Any questions? All right, we'll direct staff then to go forward and get those scheduled at a time certain on those dates. And
Right.
with that, we're on to item number 4, the consent agenda. And just for members of the public, the items on this consent agenda, although we don't typically have a very long one, are all just the approvals for the administrative expenditures that we need to make for the year, both back to the city, for bond counsel, for engineering, and so forth.
Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll?
Clegg,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Woodings.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. With that, I would accept a motion to adjourn.
Madam Chair, I would move we adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you all.
Yes, thank you.
See you
And-
shortly.
Thanks for all your hard work.